Good evening, people. As you can see, some progress has happened with the lathe finally, and really finally. So I lifted the headstock on. I tried to align the crane so that it would fit as well as possible, and it actually did fit pretty much perfectly. And what I did, I put my hydraulic trolleys under the bed, and I lifted the bed up. Well, actually, first I let it as down as it would go, and then, because the headstock wasn't completely level, it was a little lower in the front side, so that's where it touched first. And then what I did was I lifted the hydraulic trolleys up, so there was some friction on the box, and then I just pushed right here with my hand, so these holes would meet the holes on the bed. And I also did some fine tuning with this chunk of wood. I tapped with it on the chalk and some other places too. And now it is mostly in place. And I guess I will bolt it down with the three main points, which are here in the front. That one right there, and this one here, which I still don't have a bolt in it. And down here is one point in here. And there is a piece of metal which goes here, and then there is a bolt going through it to the headstock. And what I'm gonna do next to the lathe is taking the headstock apart. First I will take the chuck off, and then I will start taking off all of this, starting with the oiling system, which is on the top, and then taking off every shaft and checking the gears and bearings and everything. And hopefully I will get that clunking sound to go away from the coolant pump, which is this, by the way. I guess the clanking sound to some extent is between the clearance gap in here. Maybe the gap is just too big. Okay, and some other progress also. I have the electrics circuit board ready, which when complete it looks like this. So it is extremely simple. I made it way more simple than it was originally. The transformer is a little loose. I have to put some screws to it. Oh, no, it's completely loose. Okay. And I draw a diagram, which I will talk a little bit more about when I get the electrics hooked up. So what I basically did do is I removed everything that is not necessary, and I changed the fuses from the old school fuses to automatic fuses. Okay, so the motor goes in here, the main motor, and the rapid traverse motor goes to here. And then I have this connector box that I will attach the on and off buttons and the rapid feed buttons. Yes, and look at these shiny ways. Pretty nice. Okay, but now again there's gonna be a little delay, at least for tonight. I'll have to do some customer money work, because we are going to Germany in 2 weeks, and I will buy a new car, because my old trusty and rusty Ford Escort is getting a little too rusty. I am too lazy to fix it again. So I'm gonna buy a Volkswagen Golf 4 variant with a 1.9 TDI motor. And I already have the money for the car and for the trip, but at the moment I have 14 euros and I need to live 2 more weeks with that, so I need to make some money. Okay, and maybe I can show you what I'll be working with. I have this throttle body, which luckily isn't hot anymore. And this is going to a Toyota Lathe race car. And the owner wants me to fill every hole that is not needed. So basically everything except this one and this one and this one, of course, will be filled. Everything on the side, all of this will be weld filled. And now I'm gonna prep it by angle grinder and I don't know what it's called, carbide burr. And then I'm just gonna weld it shut. And what I did first was I burned most of the gunk away from it with a propane torch, so it's now a little bit easier to start with. Okay, maybe I will show you a picture or two about this when I get some progress done with it. Okay, so, but I guess on Thursday this week I hope to be able to start taking the headstock apart. So I will be very hopeful for that. So I'm not keeping you any longer. Okay, so let me get back to you in a few days. Thank you for watching and see you again. Bye. Okay, I got the throttle body finished. It's just some ugly and dirty aluminum weld filling. Not pretty, but it will hold for sure. It's not that dirty. It has some black specks floating, but I guess this is pretty good for an old aluminum casting weld. In my opinion, aluminum castings are the most difficult aluminum welds. I had to nick this corner a little bit, so I filled it too and ground most out with an angle grinder. If needed, I will use a face mill to face this flange, but I think it will hold because it will get a thick and soft gasket. Okay, I'm sure this will do its thing. I also have some other things to do when I need money, which is soon. I have a wheel hub like this. I need to make a new one, but a little different, with all bolt holes and everything, and bedding seats. And of course, naturally, I can only do this when I have finished my lathe. And also I have this I don't know what it's called in English. I have done some of these before. It goes between the gearbox and the engine. And the job is to move the place of the starter motor to the other side. So I'm gonna take this piece out of here, cut it with a plasma cutter or the angle grinder, and move it here. I don't have all the specs for this job yet, so it's gonna have to wait a little. And another thing, oh, and these are all for the same car. And another thing is this one, the intake manifold. I will also have to fill all of the holes in it and do a little bit of weld filling somewhere, which I'm not yet sure about where I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna get some more specs. And I think I told you these parts are for Toyota Starlet. It's about 1.6 liter motor with a big turbo. I think it's gonna get about 2 or 3 bars of pressure. So the guy wants to get every hole filled, so the plugs do not fly out when there's a lot of pressure. Okay, thank you for watching and see you again. Bye.